As you probably know, anything can happen on air. Sometimes even a bad joke or a ridiculous fall can put an end to the career of even the most popular star. Therefore, being on air can be considered a real test. At the same time, viewers from all around the world love live broadcasts because sometimes they can shock not only viewers, but also professional presenters, journalists, and even show business celebrities. This video contains the most memorable moments from live broadcasts, which are simply impossible to forget. One wrong move and the mistake becomes fatal. Her secret was definitely revealed on this show and then discussed. And this is a perfect reminder of why you should not get close to wild animals, no matter how cute and harmless they may seem. From the side, insectophobia looks a little funny, although there is nothing pleasant when insects attack you, especially at a time when you need to be as collected as possible. The demonstration of these cups ended without starting, and someone will have to pay for their mistake.
Reaction from students just ahead. We're not live.
Katy Perry's head is served according to a special recipe at the annual Vanity Fair. Would you like to try it? Poor visitors will definitely not forget the meeting with this dish. Yes, it wasn't a mistake. This is Emma Stone, the winner of the Academy Award, directly jumping on stage. What can I say? She has no issues with her body control and coordination. We can only guess what Sofia Vergara's co-host said to make her defiantly slap a man in the face and then leave the stage emotionally. Celebrities are also people, they also have feelings, and they are familiar with emotional breakdowns.
These are from me.
Nina Dobrev is also called the Queen of Splits. She loves to demonstrate her flexibility on camera. By the way, it's not always appropriate, but always very memorable. You will agree that not every guest can make the host perform such a spectacular trick. And after these shots, women's dependence on Zac Efron increased tenfold. Not only is he handsome, smart, and talented, but he also has some hidden strength inside. Katy Perry can imitate a toad chin. It's kind of a useless talent, but you must admit, it looks frightening. Unexpectedly, a friendly peck on the cheek turned into a viral kiss of two beauties.
Hi. Oh my god! I'm sorry. Sorry. We just kissed on camera. And I liked it. Oh, there you go. That was great.
Let's get back to something cute. Keira Knightley plays a melody on her lip as if she's an accordion. Terry Crews turns out to be not only a first-class actor, but also an excellent musician. What other talents does this man have? And this is a dancing robot by Terry Crews. Even though he is famous for brutal and tough roles, just take a look at his flexibility. Paris Hilton even has a small Chihuahua dog in branded clothes and an expensive crown on her head. What is it? Star syndrome or celebrity status? And this is James McAvoy. Despite fame and fortune, he remained a simple guy from the street who would easily ride another person on his shoulders. For him, it's nothing but fun. Emma Stone is not just an extremely characteristic and bright girl by herself, but also surrounds herself with such cheerful, simple, and talented people who will easily brighten up a boring interview or pretentious red carpet with some prank.
We have a little photo bomb happening. Hi, guys.
I remember there was a time when everyone shipped Chris Evans and Elizabeth Olsen. Now it's clear why. Friends don't dance in such a way. Everyone would like to have such freedom from other people's opinions as Kristen Stewart. This confident girl just took off her uncomfortable shoes on the red carpet and went barefoot. She wants it to be convenient for her, and not for everyone around her. During an interview in 2018, Graham Norton told Michael B. Jordan that Cheryl, who is well known and beloved by everyone, was madly in love in the past and even a fan of the long-established star. Chloe Grace Moretz still remains in many people's memory as a little girl who knows how to use a knife in a very adult way. So even after 10 years, they bring her a knife and ask her to demonstrate the dexterity of her fragile hands.
Okay, you see that? Whew, okay, so you go like that.
Are you also struck by the endurance of the artists? This singer continued her performance even when a fan tightened her hair. What dedication! Everyone should learn from her. It looks like someone forgot to turn off the camera during the actors' meeting. Everyone knows that Saoirse Ronan and Timothée Chalamet are best friends, so don't be surprised that he almost sleeps at her award ceremony. Only the closest ones have the right to do so, or should he have supported his friend?
Actually, everyone in this room, so thank you so much for this. Thank you.
A cute animal can outshine even the great stars of show business. Interestingly, the actors and the presenter were so busy squeezing the animal that they became completely uninterested in discussing the film and each other's personal life.
No, I never thought I'd be face to face with yours.
Probably the level of success is determined whether you have the right to ruffle the wig of the president. Jimmy Fallon seems to have reached the top. If you thought that Justin Bieber is only a cute face, then you were wrong. This guy can assemble a Rubik's Cube in a matter of seconds, and this indicates a high level of IQ. What level of self-criticism do you need to have to paint your faces on an advertisement timed to coincide with the release of a new blockbuster starring them, like Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt? Popular actress Dakota Johnson is not only able to play a difficult dramatic role and risk her career by playing in an 18-plus movie, but also knows how to use her spontaneity to show her gap in the teeth and to shove all sorts of stuff in there. She has such a multifaceted personality. And this is Daniel Radcliffe once again plunging us into a state of shock and maximum surprise as he performs improvisational rap alphabetically without a single hesitation, as if he sings a song he has known for a long time. Kendall Jenner can't calmly watch her boyfriend play. This girl discusses with her friend every moment of the half. How sweet it is? Billie Eilish meets the person who was her idol once. Ariana Grande does not behave arrogantly, but hugs her already famous fan with great joy. So now I have doubts about the friendship between these two. Colleagues from Marvel Films are too close to each other. In conclusion, I want you to look at Elizabeth Olsen's artistic masterpiece and be glad that at least in some ways she is not perfect. Although it may not be worthy of the Louvre, but the self-portrait of her character looks too cute.
I was trying to draw a necklace and it looked like hair. so I had to specify.
Whatever the reporter asked the woman about, it doesn't matter. The clever thief will definitely be remembered by the audience. Beauty requires a sacrifice, even if this sacrifice is an unfortunate incident on the air.
Yeah, it's a big splashy party to raise money for chronic kidney disease patients. But tonight, Fox 5, I'm Team Dana Fowler, putting the spotlight on.
The bird thief was not afraid to leave evidence and be seen committing a crime. It probably liked the headphones too much. During the performance, Dua Lipa accidentally bumped into one of the dancers on stage, which caused her to drop the microphone. Even though some fans were discouraged because the lyrics of the song were still audible, the singer managed to get out of the situation like a real professional. During the filming of the Good Morning the UK show, the reporter accidentally dropped a rare plant. The expert was so upset that he quickly left the set. Journalists have to work in different conditions. In Pakistan, a journalist filmed a report while being in the water. In such a way, the man decided to show a powerful flood. The probability that she would face a snow sphere was small, and yet it happened. Maybe it doesn't hurt that much, but it's still very funny and embarrassing. One can do a lot of things for the sake of improving the ratings of the weather forecast, and holidays also provide an excellent opportunity to do it in a very strange yet amusing way. Children often get into the frame during live broadcasts. They are bored while their mom is busy. This girl wanted to be useful, so she became an unexpected guest in the studio. This woman was so touched by the gift that she forgot to check if her chair was in the same place. The assistant tries to imperceptibly give the host some water, but something went wrong and there was a small madness in the studio. Children on the set are cute and interesting, but sometimes they can lead to a real disaster.
Vai ter muita coisa no programa, né? O que vai ter, Claudinha? Veja o que vai ter. Ai, ai, gente. Ai, ai, ai.
Small animals are always cute, but it's worth remembering that they cannot be controlled 100%.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tease you. I didn't mean to tease you. I'm sorry.
It seems that the marathon participants will not reach the finish line since the finish line is not there anymore. Ellen's show is famous for its frightening moments. No matter how the guests prepare and do not expect someone to jump out from somewhere abruptly, everyone is still scared. Mathematics can do a lot of things for people. This participant in the Millionaire Show was brought to hysterical laughter by simple mathematics. Reporters are also people with emotions. Therefore, it's better not to get in the frame of a tired journalist because you can be punished for such a prank. Some people start to behave inappropriately in front of the camera. This young man decided to become famous and show his unusual skills. It is difficult to report and remain serious when something unusual happens. The pig chose him as its victim and did not let the reporter pass. The weather forecast is often filmed in the studio, but sometimes reporters have to face the weather right on the street, and this person would give a lot not to demonstrate how it is to fight with gusts of winds on her own example. It could have been worse. How? Imagine if the camel decided to spit without showing its excessive friendliness and participating in an interview. When offering a woman to get married, you need to be ready to get rejected. Perhaps he thought that the chance of a positive response would be greater if he did it live, but by doing so, he only created a very awkward situation for everyone. Probably this forecast was supposed to warn about cool weather. It's obvious by looking at the child's mouth. But something went wrong and the visualization of the weather conditions did not give the desired effect. The weather forecast presenter had to suspend her program in order to demonstrate what lightning strikes are expected in the city tomorrow. Not only children but pets like to appear on the screen. It should be noted that the young man clearly adores his cats and takes a lot of care of them. Who will pay attention to the report when something happens in the background, especially something resembling a scene from a comedy movie? Wearing such a scarf may not have been the best idea, but by his movements, you can understand how windy the weather is in this area. Perhaps she has some more important event the next day and the weather forecast ruins her plans. She was so upset that she couldn't contain her emotions. Being on the air, the journalist couldn't even imagine that a group of adult men decided to fool around and make jokes behind her back. This boy knows how to attract attention to himself. His funny and slightly inappropriate dance conquered the crowd of spectators. During an interview on local television, Cyril Ramaphosa, who is the president of South Africa, unintentionally added positive emotions to the residents of the country. He tried to put on a protective mask, but it took him a while to do it. It kept slipping into his eyes, and the elastic bands fell off his ears. The young man had a great day. The only thing he lacks is a beer snack, which is why he is so desperate to grab it. You can do whatever you want, but you need to know where to stop. These fans were too emotional, so they spoiled the mood of the reporter. The desire to make a good report defeated the instinct of self-preservation. You will do everything for the sake of a great show, even if you need to risk your own hairstyle.
And then look at the diameter. It's not that big. I can get my hands down in there, but I don't know. Oh, my head.
A runny nose in cold weather conditions is something truly normal, but in such a case, it's better to have napkins on hand. This reporter has a phlegmatic type of temperament. He remained as calm as possible even when he saw the car behind him drowning. And this show about animals turned out to be more interesting than usual because the film crew accidentally lost a rhinoceros. At a Victoria's Secret show, the model caught her heel in the hem of her dress and fell in the middle of the catwalk. An interesting report about ice sculptures did not end very well because the journalist accidentally pushed one of the exhibits and broke it. During the meeting, the cameraman switched the lens from the speaker to the deputy picking at his mouth. It is unlikely that he will remain unpunished. Is it impudence or frivolity? You can decide for yourself, but as for me, this guest suffers from a superiority complex. Well, how else to explain such disrespect?
Yes, the doctor told me to elevate it, so here we go. No.
The morning weather forecast, thanks to one accidental fall, turned a boring morning show into a rather fun and entertaining program. The girl in the air confused the working side of the microphone, which caused a storm of applause and a flurry of emotions from the audience.
Sabor morango.
Laura Miller dentro.
The usual interview became a viral video that spread all over the internet. The reason for this is toy snakes, which were abruptly put right on the stars. Now, try to answer honestly, when you watch the weather forecast, do you really listen to the upcoming climate changes, or do you evaluate the appearance of the presenter? Jennifer Lopez does not forget to thank her fans for her success because she believes that she owes a lot to them. Nothing can spoil the Christmas atmosphere, even if the presenter falls live. Christmas Eve is a time of miracles, and at such a moment, it is stupid to get upset because of failures. The reporter has a good command of speech and skillfully formulates a beautiful sentence, but she knows nothing about sports because she can't even stand in skis. The reporter accidentally swallowed a butterfly that flew into his mouth. This made him nervous, regret his choice of profession, and even threatened the operator. Fans of Michael Jackson love to repeat his moonwalk. While being the host of the morning show, they also want to energize and entertain the audience with their dancing. Taking an interview on your birthday turned out to be unforgettable for a journalist who did not expect a surprise.
Going on here to just raise some awareness and have...
The attention of viewers is not focused on the most interesting information of the reporter, but on the guy who, without complexes in the background, who is mocking the journalist right on air. Unexpected guests often appear in the frame when shooting a report, but this cockroach shamelessly violated the personal boundaries of the journalist. This man very cleverly avoided an unwanted kiss from a stranger in an interesting hat and continued his report. Obviously, the probability of a ball hitting a person is quite high when one is on the field. However, it is impossible to be prepared for this. This is just another example when something that happens behind the reporter is more interesting than the plot itself. After watching it, the audience was more interested if the man managed to get out of the container. When a lady like this appears on the podium, every man becomes speechless. And when she turns around, her passionate slash makes their hearts beat even faster. Apparently, this is exactly the effect that the designer was trying to achieve, and he succeeded. This weather forecast is getting even more interesting. The prankster cat participated in an online interview. The owner had no choice but to try to remove it while continuing to answer the question. The presenter accidentally broke into someone else's program during her break, but she managed to laugh it off and quickly leave the frame. High-heeled shoes were not the best choice of shooting a mattress commercial. Now everyone knows that it is not so durable. Sherry Shepherd is a comedian, however, she was not ready for such a prank. She almost had a heart attack when the presenter threw a toy snake at her. Once in the frame, the girl knew perfectly well what she needed to do, but she was so surprised that she completely forgot that there was beer in her hand. Their kiss is nothing in comparison with the spilled drink on the head of another person. Although lemurs are cute animals, they can be quite mean. Just look at how casually it took off the wig from the woman on air. This cute dog got tired of boring questions from a journalist, so it decided to end the interview. Either she thought the cup was empty, or she was so busy with the conversation that she couldn't coordinate her movements. Donald Trump was noticed during an ambiguous activity. Maybe in this way he wanted to say something to the Pope or decided to make a joke. The possibilities of the human body are sometimes limitless. Despite the obviously frosty weather, the guys have fun being half naked. The author of this work of art is definitely not happy that he agreed to make a shoot with such a clumsy reporter. What could be more humiliating than refusing to shake hands? Only if it's also shown on national television. People are often liberated when they think that no one sees them. Imagine her shock when she finds out that her dancing was broadcast live. There are people who easily violate other people's borders. At the same time, they don't think about how they look and what position they put another person in. In general, TV reporters dress accordingly to the plot. In this case, it is unlikely that anyone paid attention to the plot at all. Why? Because people are worried about their dress because of such a strong wind. Even on such seemingly children's rides, you can get injured.
You donkey!
During the filming of a report about Christmas entertainment on a playground where children play snowballs, there is no chance to stay away and not become a target. As a rule, shoes often cause such ridiculous falls on the podium. At this moment, the main thing is not to get lost, get up, and continue the fashion show. Maybe she was introduced to the technique of hitting, but she failed at the most important moment. The journalist fought the gusts of wind as best she could, but still gave up and ran away. As you can see, her baseball cap remained in place. This is about how the use of gadgets affects the safety of movement, whether you are driving a car or driving a bicycle. The clumsiness of the guest of the cooking show made the audience laugh a lot, especially when she managed to provoke a fire. Often performers try to hide that they are not really singing, and this singer didn't even bother to take the microphone correctly. Sometimes the spectacular looks or extremely short dresses of the weather forecast presenters are the only things that keep the rating of the program. Even if the forecast is not confirmed, there is an opportunity to get aesthetic pleasure. When the guy saw the camera, he was very happy and did not miss his chance to show off in front of her and say hello to his loved ones. Usually the presenters themselves become the culprits of the incidents of the news program. This time, inappropriate actions take place in the background. That's what personal ethics means. Even after the drunk athlete poured champagne on the reporter, apparently to celebrate his victory, she just laughed and calmly continued the interview. The level of anxiety after such an experience may increase while you suffer from the idea that danger lurks at every step. Fans usually adore the mascots of their favorite basketball teams. Some of them perform gymnastic tricks, while others prefer crazy things. This mascot crept up to the reporter and scared her very much. It's good that she quickly recovered and got out of the situation with a smile.
It gave her a little.
A journalist is a dangerous profession associated with many risks. For example, this reporter was suddenly covered by a wave. It should be noted that he did not lose his head and continued to report. Math is not easy for everyone at school. This teacher, showing how to solve equations, confused the students even more. Maybe no one would have noticed her mistake, but they decided to highlight it to make it as obvious as possible. Taking a child with you to the office is a great idea, but children rarely behave appropriately, regardless of the parent's place of work. The kid appeared in the frame and began to play, which amused the weather forecast presenter very much. Why do you have to pay to advertise your performances? Illusionists have found a great way to show their tricks on television. This is certainly an original, but not really practical design of the workplace. And this strength test has failed. The animal just didn't like being discussed and filmed. The elephant did not want to remain unnoticed, so it chose a very cute way to be remembered by the audience. We all have situations when we are late somewhere or arrive at the last moment. This guy arrived at the port a few minutes before the ferry sailed, but the ramp closed right in front of his nose, and the taxi driver decided not to wait for his further action. Most likely, the task of this reporter was to show the seriousness of the situation and warn about the danger, but the group of men decided that it was not necessary to make the audience worry once again.
That worries them, but at this point, if you haven't left, don't go out. You probably can't get out of Atlantic City anyway because the roads have become overwashed. That's the ocean behind you.
Problems with sound often happen. And another thing is the fact that the girl definitely did not expect that someone would lick her ear. Today is definitely not the best day for this reporter to conduct live broadcasts.
Killing more of our teens than drugs and alcohol combined is now... Sorry about that. Is now taking the first place position on why our teens are experiencing...
Bug me right in the pussy!
The channel's logo fell off the wall during the broadcast. Do you think this is a bad sign?
Só entrou em vigor em uma empresa, o Sindicato dos Metalúrgicos de São Paulo.
The staff may have wanted to make the image clearer, but they only managed to distort the images of the guest of the program. While the weather forecast presenter was talking about winds for the next week, a piece of the UK fell on him. Maybe a storm has already swept through the studio.